why we use data is to bring a sort of moneyball efficiency to budgets. We're in a day and age where if you're going to spend money, you got to have maximum efficiency to get the maximum conversion.
You mentioned the sophisticated data systems. I think about what's useful from a context perspective to help me understand the political landscape better, to help the listener understand the political landscape and what they're absorbing and watching and paying attention to. But also, even just selfishly as a business owner, it's like being able to make data-driven decisions. I mean, we did an entire episode on that topic. But I sense that the level of data sophistication that you're bringing to the table is far greater than the Google spreadsheets that we're operating on. Help us out, man. How do we upgrade our data, and what sort of data are you looking at when you run these ads?
It's like what I talk about 24/7. So I appreciate the question a lot. I have a partnership with the largest data collection, analytics, and AI company in America. And so in the database I work in, whether it's in politics or whether it's in corporate America, and we work with Fortune 200 companies, publicly traded companies. We work with NASCAR. We work with a lot of different companies. We have 240 million American consumers in our database, 550 million connected devices. We're tracking 10 billion online purchasing decisions daily and 1 trillion searches daily. And so we are able to look at any customer base or build out a customer base for a company that maybe doesn't have one, or we can put a pixel on their website and then grab the IP addresses of anybody that comes to visit that website and track their movements online. So it's not what people say, but what they do. And then I can spit out a 75-page report that would blow your mind. I can tell you that the top 3 values of your voters' lives or your customers' lives. I can tell you the social media platforms they're on in a chronological order. So if you're spending all your money on Instagram, and I'm looking at this and saying, let me give you an example on the corporate side. So we worked with a company called All33. They are a Shark Tank company. They sell office chairs. It's crazy. They got crazy investors like Justin Bieber. And I bought it when it was like they were going to their 2.0 chair, and I bought the 1.0. So they discounted. I think it was like $1,200 actually. And they were just trying to get rid of inventory. And they were already a client. And I was like, no, I'm going to buy your product. But that's not the point. Like Tony Robbins, the backer, like they have this crazy, it's like, who invests in office chair companies? Whatever. But when we went in and looked at their customer list, because they go, hey, we just got all this VC funding. We got to double the company in the next 2 years. And we went in and looked at their customers. We noticed something really interesting. They were spending 85% of their ad dollars on Facebook. And I asked them at the time, why are you spending all that money on Facebook? And they said, well, we hired a Facebook marketing agency. So they told us we had to spend the money on Facebook. And I said, right. But where are your customers going? And they said, Facebook? Like question mark, And I'm like, let's find out. So we went over, I think they had 20, 30,000 customer records. We overlaid that online. We tracked them for over a 30-day period, but we're actually able to go back and grab all their data from the past purchases, all these things, right? On average, we have about 10,000 records on about 40 million American consumers, on average, 10,000 records. So then we're able to extrapolate when they buy, what they buy, why they buy, kids in the household, not kids in the household, age, married, divorced, single, young, old, whatever, right? We can get all that in. And we found out that the number one social media platform for this office chair company was Pinterest, because women had gone back into the workforce during COVID and they were working from home and they wanted a comfortable office chair. So that was who was going to their website, but not buying. And then we were able to realize that they all had pinned boards. They were all on Pinterest, all this stuff. This company never spent $1 on Pinterest. Facebook was the number 4 performing social media platform amongst their customers, their website visitors, and their modeled audience, like lookalike audience. Number 4. So they're spending 85% of their budget on the number 4 performing social media platform for their customers. And so why we use data is to bring a sort of moneyball efficiency to budgets. And, we're in a day and age where if you're going to spend money, you got to have maximum efficiency to get the maximum conversion, And it's so funny. For years, I've been on stage talking about how I asked this question on stage. Now, this is almost an irrelevant question. I go, how many people out here in their marketing use an AI tool for their marketing? And no hands go up, right? And I'm like, there is not a TV ad that you see on Super Bowl or during any kind of game or whatever is on that isn't literally run through an AI machine now. So every ad you're seeing from a major Fortune 200 company right now has AI working through that script. Doesn't mean they write the whole thing. Maybe it originates it and then the creatives take a part of it or whatever. And the reason that that's the case is because here's why. This is what's so crazy. We're going on into this data. The AI right now has the ability to aggregate everything that has ever been put on the internet all the way up until about a year ago, from what words people buy from, everything, right? So when we write scripts for our clients, we spent a lot of money to have access to this kind of stuff. And we'll put it through and it'll literally say, change these 6 words and you'll get a 7 or 8% higher conversion rate just by changing those words. Now, I have a fiduciary duty to the people that hire us to do that. So that's why we invested in that tool. But I would tell you that 99% of marketers have no idea that that even exists. But now with ChatGPT, everybody knows something's out there, right? So it's going to be growing exponentially. Now it kind of cat's out of the bag. We've been doing it for 2-3 years now. And we're like, man, I can't believe nobody else is doing this. This is insane.